Rants on Star Wars. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, punch that subscribe button, join the Road Squadron. Today, let's talk about an article from darkhorizons.com. This is a movie website I have been going to for like 20 or 22 years to get a lot of my movie news. It is run by a guy named Garth Franklin out of Australia. And I've always liked this website until recently. And I'm still okay with the website, but for full disclosure, Garth is beginning to kind of get known as a bit of a social justice warrior. And I know he's banned the term social justice warrior in his message forms on his post. And he also got pretty smart on, I believe he said, internet trolls get the big middle finger when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy getting an extension. So anyway, and for full disclosure, his reader base is, there's a lot of people that do not agree with him. So we'll see. Let's read this article. A new report claims that Rian Johnson's much debated Star Wars The Last Jedi and the backlash against it was heavily fueled by deliberate antagonistic action from Russian trolls and their bots. Yikes. Heat Vision reports that just published an academic paper by researcher Morton Bay finds that half of the online criticism aimed at the film was politically motivated. The paper is titled Weaponizing the Haters, The Last Jedi, and the strategic politicalization of pop culture through social media manipulation, and finds evidence of deliberate, organized political influence measures disguised as fan arguments. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. The paper goes on to say that the likely objective of these measures is increasing media coverage of the fandom conflict, thereby, quote, further propagating a narrative of widespread discord and dysfunction in American society. And pushing said narrative remains a goal of both U.S. alt-right movement and the Russian Federation. The paper analyzes the negative online reaction, which is split into three camps: politically motivated attacks, trolls, and real fantagonists, which the latter referring to genuine Star Wars fans disappointed in the movie. In the sample, 50.9% of tweets were either, quote, politically motivated or not even human, and that, quote, number of these users appear to be Russian trolls. It says overall, only 21.9% of tweets analyzed by the movie had been negative in the first place, and the complaints about Lucasfilm's reported politicalization of the franchise by disaffected fans says more about them than Disney or Lucasfilm, as, quote, political and ethical positions presented in the new films are consistent with older films. It is more likely the polarization of the Trump era has politicized the fans. With that, number one, I'm going to tell you, I ran a horror website for years, and my Star Wars Twitter was formerly the Horror Hideout Twitter, and I've got I had over 7,500 followers just on that one Twitter site. And I've actually got about 10 Twitter pages, and I kind of feed off of all of them. Well, anyway, what I will tell you about Twitter is it is a completely different crowd than YouTube. Not saying that there's not YouTubers on there. Of course there are. All the main YouTubers have Twitter pages, and there are people that follow them, right? But I have found, and just to tell you, once I shot my first 2 or 3 anti-Rian Johnson videos, I lost like 1,000 followers. Think about that a minute. Lost 1,000 followers. I don't know if it is because of the age. I believe there is sort of an age disparity between the two platforms. I haven't done any research on this, and I should probably before making this statement, but I'll throw it out there. I believe YouTube is made up more of people older than 35. And I believe Twitter is primarily people younger than 35. And I think what you have is younger people become more and more conservative as they age, generally speaking. And I think you also find that there are less Twitter users in certain parts of rural America. For example, I'm in East Texas. I literally don't know anybody that has a Twitter page other than some local businesses that are using it strictly for publicizing their business. Not saying there aren't Twitter users in East Texas. There are. There's some on my Twitter pages. Some people. But it is just not something that people go around and talk about like YouTube or Facebook or even Instagram. They are trying again to discredit the people that do not like The Last Jedi. And they are trying to make it about something it's not. I don't believe for a second that Russian bots are what has influenced the hate for The Last Jedi. They will use anything in their power to justify trying to make that a good film. There are blatant political messages in the movie. There's no way around it. I mean, there's an entire subplot that's built on political messages. They want to paint Last Jedi haters as being sexist because we don't like Admiral Holdo and we don't like Rose Tico. And the issue is those characters are it's not an issue with them being women. It's an issue with them being poorly written and poorly developed as characters. That is the issue. There's plenty of women in Star Wars that we absolutely enjoy. I even liked Rey until The Last Jedi was over. And, you know, the filmmaker failed Rey as a character. But Ahsoka, Princess Leia, I like Sabine from Rebels. It's just it's poor filmmaking, poor understanding and use of Star Wars lore that has been around forever. It is poor follow through involving The Force Awakens. It's all of these things. It's the destruction of Luke Skywalker that make Star Wars fans upset over The Last Jedi. It is not that we're racist or sexist or any of these things that they want to portray us as. And I suspect it's studies like this as to why Kathleen Kennedy, at least in theory, got a contract extension. Because Disney would have taken a beating if they would have let her go. You know, if you're in the media, you feel The Last Jedi is a huge win. And that's great, but the fans that boycotted Solo certainly weren't Russian bots. That's a fact. Okay? And, you know, it's just continued failure by Hollywood, the people in Hollywood. I don't know. It's amazing to me. It's amazing that Hollywood makes any more money It's going to get to the point where you're going to have a segment of America that just won't watch movies anymore because of lost ideals and values coming out of Hollywood. People are just getting fed up with it. I don't know. Clint Eastwood, and I can't tell you the statement Clint Eastwood made, but he made a statement last year, the year before last, and the SJWs, I mean, got ruthless on Twitter, telling him they wish he would die already. There is no reason for him to still be alive. Could he die? Just vicious attacking of Clint Eastwood, one of the most beloved actors and directors ever. I would say maybe in the top 5 ever. No respect for their elders is part of it. Anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Join the Road Squadron. Peace. I'm out. Until next time.